There is no greater tragedy than mediocrity. Even as someone who's currently mediocre, it disgusts me when I look out in the world and I see people that are content with mediocrity. You need to have a drive for greatness. That's how I feel. Mediocrity to me isn't failure, it's surrender, right? Failure means you still tried, like you put in an effort. Mediocrity is choosing comfort over effort. It's safety over risk. And it's slowly agreeing to live beneath your potential. And that to me is why I hate the idea. Because the chances that you're put on Earth, you had to win the cosmic lottery. It's 1 in 43 trillion. It seems almost disrespectful to just be content with settling with what you have, with what's normal. I don't think there's anything wrong with being in a current state of mediocrity, but it's more so like, are you trying to be great? Are you trying to reach that next level? Are you actively like pursuing that? And as long as you're doing that, I think it's fine. But the people that are content and are settled in mediocrity, that's the issue. The world has been shaped specifically and exclusively by people that push for greatness. I mean, literally every single thing in our world around us, besides nature itself, was created by people that were thinking outside of the box and had to go through a lot to turn their ideas into fruition. I mean, how are you watching this video right now? That right there, that innovation, that was done by someone who didn't settle for mediocrity. I've had this conversation with my parents. My entire family disagrees with me. They're like, well, if I'm satisfied with a mediocre life, to me that's like cope. It's like, you're satisfied with a mediocre life. Like, what? It psychologically doesn't make sense to me. I just feel like it's almost innate. Like, you guys all saw that penguin edit, right? That penguin like strive for more. Now, did the penguin have neurological disease or whatever? Sure, maybe, but that's not the point. At least that penguin left a legacy. As they say, the others survived, but he lived. If you're settling for mediocrity, I don't feel like you're actually living. Think about all the humans that have ever existed. So what is it, like 10% of all humans that have ever existed are living right now? So 90% would have killed to have the opportunities and technology that you have right now, and you're just not doing it. I feel like it's a tragedy knowing that you could have done more. When you ask people that are on their deathbeds what they wish that they did, they're all like, oh, I wish I just pushed for more. I wish that I like tried this, that, and the third. They never regret things that they did do. They regret things that they didn't do. And it's striving for greatness, right? Regret doesn't come from what we couldn't do, but it's from what we avoided. Oh, you didn't ask that girl out when you had the opportunity. Maybe you missed out on a life full of love. Oh, you didn't take that job opportunity because you were scared it was too far out of your capabilities, and now you're stuck at a dead-end job. This is how the world works. Mediocrity haunts people because deep down they know that they could have done more and that they settled. And I think a lot of people that are in the middle, which is the majority of humanity, specifically in first world countries, a lot of them know this to be true, and so they kind of just say, well, like, my dream was always to have a family and do this and do that. Listen, my dream's to have a family too, but it's not just that. It's to provide for them in the best possible way, and it's to create experiences, and you can't have as many awesome experiences when you're stuck in mediocrity. The problem is that modern life quietly rewards being average and being content. I mean, that's literally how it became what it is like, you know, the majority of people in these cookie cutter neighborhoods doing the same thing over and over again. It's just a copy and paste of everyone. There's a word, disturbia. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I think the definition of it is it's like fear of the suburban lifestyle. And it's like when you go into these, like, you know, the suburbs, and you go in these different neighborhoods, like, yeah, the houses are different, but they're really the same. It's the same 4 to 5 models over and over again. The families look the same, the mannerisms of the people, the behaviors, it's all the same. And that's what I don't like. I just feel like humans are, if we weren't conditioned, we'd be similar in nature but different in capabilities and different in our pursuits. And you don't really see that. That's not really commonplace. But what happens is that mediocrity inevitably kills meaning, not happiness. Like, when you're satisfied, when you're content, you don't need to push for more because you're just in that comfortable zone. If you guys watched my last video, I talked about there's an area where you're just comfortable enough where you don't want to enact change. And then there's an area where like you're so uncomfortable that you need to go out there and do something. And then there's an area where you're just like top of the top, like you're beyond the level of comfort. You've already reached the top. And so the dangerous spot to be is in the middle, and that's where mediocrity is, because you're just content enough to not do anything. And that's why it kills meaning, because you know, you can blend it, don't offend it. Don't push too hard, you know? Don't aim too high. That's the idea of mediocrity. Society, it doesn't really crush ambition. It lulls it to sheep. Like people that are just doing what they're told. Hey, I'm gonna go to school, get good grades, get a job, work that job, try to work my way up the corporate ladder. Like that whole idea, that is like the sheep mentality that people are falling into. And what I realize is, like, a lot of times I'm kind of using the term sheep loosely because I feel like sheep aren't, like, they don't really have agency and they're not consciously aware. There are a lot of people that work the 9 to 5 that are aware of it and they do hate it, and it's hard because they don't know what else to do. But the problem is that's not a good enough excuse. You have to give it a shot. You have to give something a try to escape it. And if you can't, but you tried, I think that in and of itself creates meaning, creates purpose, right? But people aren't even giving it a shot, and that's what I hate to see. That's what all my relatives and family, friends, and everyone's doing, and that's what it depresses me to be a bystander of it. It's like, it's okay that you're in these positions, but what's not okay is settling and being content in those positions. You gotta want more. But yeah, you can't be entertained, distracted, even comfortable, and still feel empty. Meaning comes from striving. It comes from aiming for a goal, not coasting. That's what people need to understand. And the truth is, greatness is not talent. It's a sustained refusal to quit. It's consistently showing up. Some of you guys that are watching this video might know Michael Smoke. He goes by the name of High Rope Wellness online. He's actually he's a friend of mine online. I've never met him in person, but he follows me. Really cool guy. But he recently went on a podcast and he said, they were like, you know, what is like the trick to like reach the top? Because, you know, he's got millions of followers. And everyone's like, dude, what is the trick? How do you get to the top echelon of social media, which is such like a saturated thing? And how do you come up with all these video ideas and everything? And he says consistency. He said, I posted every single day for 2.5 years. And through that, he was going through a really hard time in the middle of that. And that's the truth. It's the refusal to quit, guys. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Social media, it's a really easy analogy because it's straightforward. Like, you post videos, you have a follower count, you make X amount of money. Like, it's very straightforward. But it's going to be true for everything. If you want to be a professional basketball player, you just got to go to the gym every day, or 5 to 6 days a week, and don't miss it. If you want to go to the regular weightlifting gym, if you want to get big, you got to do that. You got to put in the right amount of dietary micros and macros to grow. I mean, it's just, you got to stay consistent with it, and that's the key to everything. Greatness is not talent. Now, if you want to be literally the top of the top of the top, there has to be talent. But greatness isn't literally just the first place person. It's really like the top. Like, it depends on the industry, but it can be the top few thousand. You know, you don't have to have the talent. If you show up every day, you are going to do something that will make you exceptional, because you are the exception. No one else is going to show up every day. But yeah, choosing more will always cost you something. You know, comfort, approval, ease, relationships. Mediocrity is cheap because it asks for nothing. You're just following the path that's already written for you. You can easily, you know, go to school, get a job, do all this stuff, and you don't have to worry about anyone judging your career choice because you just did what was normal. You don't have to worry about people online talking about you because you didn't go out there and try anything. If you don't have haters, you're not doing anything significant. That's what I've realized. A meaningful life, it demands everything. And that's what I'm realizing. It's the journey. That's what a meaningful life is. Greatness isn't a destination, it's a journey. And that's where the meaning will find you when you're actually pursuing for something great. I just can't relate to these people that are like, I'm content with, being in the 50%. I can't even relate to people that are like, oh, top 80%, that's good enough. Like, you should always strive for more, because just imagine when you're on your deathbed, you're going to think back like, all this stuff I could have done, but you didn't do it. And that would kill me. That would kill me. If I looked back on my life and was like, oh, I could have done this, this, and this, but I never did that. That would hurt bad. I hope you guys feel the same way. Maybe it's just me. I definitely know it's not like a universal feeling. My family doesn't believe in that, but yeah, that's just my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching.